Don't say I was late. I wasn't late. I was right here. I was sitting here. I just wasn't live. Man, I'm getting forgetful. Lawrence Lilly, what's up? Brian Bridges, what's up? Do y'all know? Well, y'all probably know. I literally just put the thumbnail up 5 minutes ago. I thought I had did it already. That's old age kicking in if nothing else is happening. Shanna, what's good? Big Easy, what's happening? Silverback, Brian Bridges, I spoke. Bang TV, where you at, bro? You supposed to be meeting up with me, man. And plus, you got all them fancy guns. That's your problem. You think I'm going to ask you to shoot them fancy guns. You tripping. Jason in the building. The Ewings are in the buildings. JL Customs, Gun Camp. JL, what you know about this, boy? Huh? You got them, don't you? Yes, sir. We ain't gonna even put your business in the street. Shout out to JL Customs, Gun Camp. I Pizzle. All right, Maurice Evans, what's up, brother? Calvin Carbine, what's to it? Prepper 101, what's happening? Same old Jizzle. What up, dog? Gravy 1, what's to it? Mr. Wilk, the legend. You know, I'm going to tell y'all a secret about Mr. Wilk. I was trying to book Mr. Wilk to come on the show for about 2.5 years, right? I remember when he used to be in the live and say, hey, man, I know how to turn the color on a gun. Then he went and invented some Desert Eagle thing. Ain't heard from him since. That's my story on Mr. Wilk, and I'm sticking to it. Indiana Jackson, what's up, brother? Ramsey J, what's to it? Quilly, what's happening, man? Javon's Martin. Why crew? What up, what up, what up? Gunrilla Rick, what's to it, man? What's happening? Madman, what's up? I hope everybody doing good, man. Ricky Rose. All right, Mr. Wilk, I'm going to hold you to it, brother. SJAA family, what's happening? R. Scott, what's going on, bro? Coy, my boy. That's my dog right there. Will Jones, what's up, everybody? Hey, listen, man. Shout out to y'all for just knowing that I go live, because I damn sure didn't get the thumbnail out there till a few minutes ago. I need to hit Siege because we're going to talk about insurance tonight, and she's very knowledgeable on that stuff. Need to hit her up. Tell her, make sure she get in here tonight. Hopefully she got some time. Tap in. What's to it? What's happening, young buck? Appreciate you, Mr. Wilk. If you guys don't mind, hit the like button for me. That'd be awesome. Kenneth True Howard, what it do, brother? What's the word, man? I hope everybody having a good week. We halfway through. That's always a dope thing. Fat guy with guns, what up? S.A. Rainey, what's happening? One in the chamber in this joint. Complex blackness. Yeah, man. Okay, that's good. USCCA. You know, matter of fact, while we wait and get more people in, and before we touch base on the actual topic tonight, well, I'm gonna start on the topic tonight. Okay, first of all, who got insurance? And if you do have it, what insurance do you have? What concealed carry or, gun owners insurance or whatever do you have right now? If you don't have insurance, just say I don't have it or none. I just want to see something. I kind of want to see what I'm up against. There's going to be a lot more people come in, I'm sure. But as of now, I would just start with who we got. And I'm going to ask you guys, as I read some of them, what made you choose who you chose? I see a couple law shields. A couple, Mr. Jackson say none. R. Scott, I don't have any either, y'all. I plan on getting some insurance tonight. Tell you that right now. Like I said, this week I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out because I just feel like it's important. It's crazy. I see a few U.S. law shields, USCCA, and I kind of want to know, like I say, why you choose one over the other. A-Day, what's up? See, Mr. Wilk lacking too, man. You tripping, bro. You got to get on it, man. Law Plus. What is that, Brian Bridges? New York City, what's up? Okay, looking for the right one. Yeah, I should have been jumped on that silverback. Leo fights back. What up? What up? What up? So here's the thing, right? A lot of us, Tyrell Young, what's up? A lot of us walk around, we carrying and we ready to protect and we training, we doing a lot, but some of us don't have no insurance. You just never know, man. It's almost kind of sort of like car insurance, except this is your life you're dealing with. I guess you're dealing with your life with car insurance too. It kind of sort of in a way, but it's like that. You pay on it, may never shoot nobody. You can gave people all kind of money. That's how some of us be thinking too. But then, if that day comes and you gotta take care of that business, the process is stressful. From what I hear, from what I've been told. Wake up, my buddy. Hey, man, what's up? Wake up, man. Listen, it's Wednesday night. We live. We talking about insurance. In case you were sleeping, didn't hear me. We talking about insurance, bro.
What up?
USCCA, one covers on duty, one does not. Okay, Brian Bridges. There got to be more differences than that.
So I hope Siege can show up. She has a real good breakdown of.
No doubt, Tyra. Yeah. I gotta let me see if I can contact Siege. See if that's possible. Yeah.
What up, Kyle? What up, OG?
I type so slow. By the time I type, she done came in alive.
Man. Oh man, I left my research downstairs. What up, Ghetto?
That's good, man. Ghetto, what up? Kaba, what's good? What's happening? Now Kaba is a USCCA guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kaba got a gun club here in the Chicago area.
I know. I want one of them hats.
And he Kaba be having everybody in his gun club.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody from lawyers to criminals to judges, like customer service people, grocery store workers, McDonald's employees. It's a very diverse group of people. He don't discriminate, bro. He's definitely a community guy.
I know. No criminals, Ramsey. No criminals.
Complex Blackness. I have platinum plan with USCCA. I have my girlfriend under it with me, so I pay $59 a month for both of us.
What up, Kyle?
Is that high?
AK Lover? No, because he's got the platinum plan. So no. What up, Andre?
Now, what is the platinum plan? Let's talk about it, man.
Hold on.
If y'all got some knowledge, man, give it to me. AK Lover, what up, bro?
Let me pull it up.
If y'all got some information, give it to me. If because I don't know.
I'll pull it up because they have a breakdown of the different plans on there.
Let me see if I can find what Siege sent me, because it was dope. It was like a spreadsheet,
mm-hmm.
and it had like all of them. She really did the breakdown.
All right, so let's see what the platinum plan is. I mean, it looks like you get some magazines for 5 years, some lessons, some video lessons.
Magazine.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says Conceal Carry Magazine, 5 years. Course lessons, 131 plus. Video series episodes, 145 plus. Life-saving guides and ebooks, 40. Online training and qualifications, level 1, level 2. I don't know what that means. Self-defense liability insurance. Ask an Attorney video series. Ask an Attorney complete archive. State Farm law updates. Self-defense liability insurance for defense expenses, no limit. Annual aggregate liability limit for compensatory damages is $2 million.
Inspector Zern, what up? My bad, y'all. I was off the screen. I was looking at through some emails, but
Choose your own attorney. Got a lot of different things checked off here.
no, you looking at USCCA?
Yeah, that's for the platinum that he said he had. Get a discount if you put your spouse on.
G Dope, what up?
Yeah, they got gold, platinum, and elite.
Okay.
$29 a month, $39 a month, $49 a month.
Ready Rich, what up?
What
So-
up, Rich?
Now, can we pull up US Law Shield? We should pull it up and share it on the screen with people.
Yeah, I ain't remember how to. I can try.
I could do it. I mean, I could.
You remember I did on the Mac? I don't know how to do it.
Sound old, bro.
Hey, listen, man, I ain't young.
Sound real old right now, man. Because I feel like when we looking this stuff up, you know.
If I can send this over here. Hold on. Let me see if I can figure this out, man.
So, Lewis, U.S. Law Shield, you choose your state. Wait a minute, I'm gonna share this with y'all. I'm gonna share what I'm looking at.
U.S. Law Shield is they're a little bit different. They didn't have, there were some benefits here in Ohio that they didn't have.
I'm a USCCA elite member.
Yeah, that's the big old package.
Elite is bigger than.
Yes, it's gold, platinum, and elite. That's how that's their tier system.
Ooh.
See if I
There should be a comparison though.
Let me search to see if somebody.
Hold on. Let me see. No, go ahead.
I'm gonna search to see if they have one out there, like a comparison between all of them. I'll be damned.
It's a comparison?
Yeah, I'm trying to see right now. Top 6. I found something. Well, that's locked in Affinity. Yeah, he's actually got. Hold on, I'm gonna send you this link.
All right, email it.
Okay.
Devil Row, what up? Andre T, what up? Whoever I haven't spoken to, what's good with you? There you go. Real Deal, what's up? Real Deal say they trash. Real Deal will come here. Let me post a link too, just in case.
Oh, really? Don't like nobody
out there that got some information. I'm hoping Siege pop in.
I'll send it to you, bro.
U.S. Law Shield lets you turn on more coverage if you need it.
And go back down. You got night coverage, Devil Row? What up, bro?
It's a comparison?
Yeah, it's a comparison between like 6 of them, it looked like. Top 6.
All right, I'm trying to look for something that's going.
It's an updated list too.
What was that?
Hold on. I was looking at the thing. That's a Real Deal.
Let him in.
All right. Real Deal, what up?
Hey, RGG.
What's up, Doc?
Hey, Zach.
What's up, man?
Hey, the reason why I say USCC is trash, garbage, toilet paper, however you want to look at it, is because
Damn.
It's this simple. At least this was a deal breaker for me because I was on their plan, and then you had the wonderful Siege up here, and she broke it all down, and I looked into it, and I'm like, she's absolutely correct. USCC will cover you if you're in a shooting. You go to court, and we all know that prosecutors and judges, if you're in a liberal town, will lean one way. They're anti-gun. Forget about all that. So you're found guilty, right? And we all know that if you're innocent, you can be found guilty in our court systems. UFCC will drop you right there on the spot and make you pay 90% of what they spend on your case back to them. So therefore, you have to look for another lawyer to do another trial, and they won't protect you during the civil court either. Once you're found guilty, they will drop you on the spot. You are no longer a client, and they demand 90% of the money back. And you got to remember, USCCA is not an insurance company. They are a training company that wants you to become a membership so you can get the magazine and you can watch their videos online. And their hook is that they'll provide insurance. So that's why they're garbage.
Their parent company is Delta Defense.
Their insurance company is they farm that out to another corporation.
I think I remember Siege mentioning something about that.
Siege said she's gonna come in if she can get her sound to cooperate. So she did say she come. So what did you end up going with? Who did you end up going with?
I looked into two places, and two of them were neck to neck. It was I'm not going to say their name right, but their logo is the lion.
The lion?
Yeah, somebody in the chat said they had them. They're really good. But I looked into US Law Shield, and I went with US Law Shield.
Okay.
USCCA will not cover you under red flag laws. If somebody calls and they come and take your guns and you need to go to court and stuff, USCCA will not help you in that position.
Really?
Exactly.
So US Law Shield will?
Yes, they will.
What made you go with US Law Shield over
Well, I tell you what, I looked into those other two companies. I talked to US Law Shield. Well, first of all, let me break this down. US Law Shield is owned and run by lawyers. So it's not a company that's run by somebody who wants you to watch your YouTube video on how to train. These are owned by lawyers, and this is what they do. This is what they specialize in. Just I have the card with the phone number. They tell you what to do if you're in an active shooting situation and you shoot somebody. First thing you do is call 911. While you're talking to 911, the operator's job is to keep you on the line and get all the information they can. They tell you call 911, you tell them that you were a victim, that you had to use your gun in self-defense or a knife or a baseball bat. They cover everything. Then you hang up on the 911 operator because their job is to keep you online until the police come. You hang up on the 911 operator. You get your card out and you call the 1-800 hotline number that you have for them and say, "Hey, I was just in a shooting." You tell them where you're at. Boom. When the cops arrest you, take you to jail. They're right there with bond to get you out, and the cops can't talk to you. They tell you shut your mouth until you sit down with your lawyer. Okay. They're right there.
You talking about CCW Safe? Real deal. They got a big lion.
Yeah, Safe. Yeah, they're a real good company too. Those were the two companies that I was really looking into because I used to have USCCA, and I didn't realize that they had that little loophole that if you're found guilty, they 86 you, and you had to pay 90% of your lawyer fees back. So let's look at this.
Wait, let's be clear. You were talking about US Law Shield when you were just explaining they cover everything.
Yeah.
They tell you what to do. That's who you have.
That's who I have.
But you were saying CCW Safe is also
really
solid.
good.
Pretty good.
Really solid. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, was it did pricing have anything to do with your decision?
No. And they're real reasonable. I paid for the year, and I can't remember what I paid. I think I paid $219 for the whole year, and you get to pick and choose what you want coverage on and stuff.
$219 for the whole year?
Yeah, it might have been a little bit more. It might have been a little bit more. My memory's a little hazy. But they also cover. I asked the lady. I said, I carry a firearm in my car. What happens if somebody breaks in my car and steals a firearm and uses it in a crime? She's like, you're covered. If the cops come to you and try to charge you, we got you back. Mm-hmm. You call us and you have a lawyer. You're covered. If for some reason your neighbor calls the cops on you with the red flag laws and the cops come there and try to take all your guns, you call us. We got you back. You have a lawyer. And USCCA said, no, we don't do red flag laws. Sorry.
They had
Parasite, what do you have?
CCW had something real deal that was something that they didn't do here in the state of Ohio.
Now, yeah, each states are different. So you need to, the state you live in, you need to call these companies. You need to talk to them, and you need to ask them all these questions. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. You need to, give them all kinds of personal questions and what they're going to do and how they're going to help you and what benefit is it for you to give them your money.
What's up, Roro?
And USCCA,
what up, Billy?
Their benefit is they want to give you a free package of survival training kit to put in your car, and they want to show your videos. You can watch these videos and get these magazines. I can care less if I'm about your magazine and your safety bag. If I'm arrested, I'm in a jail cell with 10 guys that are 6 foot tall, and so you look awful cute. Why is the hair on your chin shaved?
Bubba Big Vladimir.
I don't care about no video. I don't care about no magazine. I go buy my own magazine.
That's what it was. It was the bail and bond stuff that was the issue here in Ohio. It's only available in certain states. That's why U.S. law shit didn't work for me.
Real Dave.
So what do you got?
Dave is looking good, bro.
Right now, I don't have anything.
Oh,
here.
Thanks. Spill it in.
Looking sharp.
I ain't gonna even ask Billy.
What happened? Yeah,
Billy,
I got it.
Billy ain't even got hollow points. There ain't no sense in asking about no insurance. Hold on, I got a special guest.
Insurance.
There's the lady.
All right, all I need to know is are we gonna hear some audio?
No, damn it.
Come on, Siege. We gotta do this tonight.
Hey, Siege, at the bottom by the taskbar, does it say start cam or stop cam or mute or settings?
You're on the laptop, right?
Can you unhook your headphones and just use your laptop?
Yeah. Unplug your headphones.
Doing it.
Go back out and go back in, and then disconnect your headphones and see what happens.
Disconnect the headphones, go out the live, and come back.
Yeah.
See if that works.
Siege is so beautiful.
But like Siege was saying, and when she did this the first time, don't get caught up in all their commercials and all their little drama commercials and stuff. And their free gift. If you sign up with USCCA, you get a free gift bag and this, and you get this magazine. If they're so great, why do they have to give you a free magazine? Why do they have to give you a free bag?
Real deal.
Why you need
real deal?
Real deal.
You bring up some amazing points.
Damn money.
He got arrested. They ain't come help him. He sound like he got arrested. They ain't come help him.
The stuff that Real Deal's hipping y'all to is a big point, because they're using your money. The people who get insurance and never have to lean back on it, they're using that money for all types of reckless spending, let's call it, unnecessary spending. So I Real Deal, I hear what you're saying, and then they give you
Billy, you talking bad about every company right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Superstar.
Every company except for ZZ or ZZ. If ZZ has some insurance, he'd be on it.
Hey,
on that.
Yep. But yeah, you got to think about it. They're so great, and then the commercials. The commercials, all emotion. It's all emotion. it's all black and white. What are you gonna do if the guy's looking around the corner and he's coming for your family, and you have to use your gun, and it shows the child's shoe laying in the street? You know, it's all emotional stuff they try to get with.
Real deal just got a lot of USCCA accounts canceled.
Well, and I give Siege all the credit because she's the one that opened my eyes of that company, and I looked into it, and I'm like,
that's what happens when you start. That's what happens when you start looking into this stuff, because like the NRA, they came out with this.
Everybody that got USCCA right now calling the 800 number. Hey,
that's right. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you joined yesterday and you paid for a year. You can cancel and get your money back. So call and cancel, get your money back, and get somebody that's going to do the job for you.
Damn.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Right, he just dropped the mic like.
So now there's a reason why USCCA exists, though, because I'm sure that these other companies weren't providing what they should have, which left a lot of leeway for them to slide in. Siege.
Yeah.
All the microphones can't be broke.
Use a cell phone.
You've been dropping the mic too much.
Ain't no way.
Use your cell phone, Siege.
Cell phone got to work.
Yeah, if that don't work, it's a conspiracy.
They don't want her to speak. USCCA got that lock on that
Right.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we can't have Siege up there.
He canceled his the same night the rep came on. Because we did this live before. We did this subject before. And I think a lot of people got a lot of knowledge on it. Hey, New York City, what up, bro?
I'm chilling, son. Yo, real deal. You're telling me right now, brother, and you're looking like Lemmy. And I know a lot of the brothers don't know who Lemmy is. But you're telling me I could call USCCA tomorrow and I get all my money back.
Yeah, you get, so if you paid for a year and you use 3 months, you're not going to get that 3 months that you used, but you're going to get the remainder of that year back.
Okay.
How long you had him?
I've been rocking with them for about 3 years now.
Damn.
Yeah.
So got 3 years.
Nah, because you know why? The only reason why I went with them, one of my boys was in a situation down here in Florida, and he got in a situation, and he did your stand your ground, and he eventually got off. But his attorney had recommended USCCA after the fact.
Word.
So
hold
that's
on, Roddy. Let me check something.
That's the only reason.
Yeah,
we go.
Color too. Look at that.
Okay. But I'm gonna fall back, man. I'm taking a lot of notes, people. Taking a lot of notes, brothers. All right.
Okay, do I have to hold my stupid phone?
Yes.
You may have to turn it sideways or something.
You don't have to hold it.
Yeah.
You just gotta prop it up.
You just gotta prop it up on something.
Okay, so what are we talking about? What am I doing here? I just came home. How's everybody?
We're talking about insurance.
Woo!
Wonderful,
Okay.
wonderful. How you?
Your expertise. First of all,
we're
how
talking
are you, man?
insurance. All right.
Yes. So I was telling everybody how you had sent me this whole comparison spreadsheet.
Yeah.
A long time ago, and it was full of information, and I still ain't got no insurance. But and then for those of you who weren't around at the time, we had the guy from USCCA on. I don't know if he'll ever come back because Siege came on and destroyed him like a rap battle. It was bad. Siege, your audio went out again. I'd be damn what's going on. Did you mute the phone?
It's something about that.
No.
Oh, I know what it is. She probably got the phone sitting on the mic.
Yeah, you got the phone sitting on the mic. You gotta turn it sideways.
Oh my God, I'm terrible.
There you go.
Do it that way.
There you go.
So I was just asking him things that I know we all need to have available so that when you spend this $200+ you know you're getting what you need and you're getting what you pay for. So
and what happened was a lot of people had USCCA. I can remember the chat overwhelmingly USCCA. And now I'm starting to see a bunch of other names because people found out things that they didn't know, stuff that we may not have researched. Real Deal being one of them. Whatever happened, whatever you said, Real Deal got beef with USCCA now.
Yep.
well, USCCA in all fairness, they market as education and training. And I have to say, they have some really great educational programs, training programs. They have a certification program where you become more efficient with your firearm shooting, cleaning, holstering, draw, everything. Like, they have lots of good stuff on that end, but they lead with educational resources for you, the shooter. They do not lead with, it says in their own literature, we are not an insurance company.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we have to take them at their word. So for people that don't know me, I've been in insurance and claims for 20 plus years. So I read policies all day, every day. I argue with attorneys all day, every day for 8 to 10 hours a day. So I understand insurance policies very well. USCCA has a great product for people that, one, have a savings account, two, maybe they have access to a criminal defense attorney, a family, a friend. I don't know. Maybe they're in a situation where they can have access to that. For most of us, we don't have upwards of $250,000 to maybe $700,000 or more if we are forced to defend ourselves, and then we're charged and arrested. Now, my understanding basically is if you are involved in a self-defense shooting, you will probably be arrested.
I've heard
So
that as
you
well.
need to have insurance just in case. So, Lito, you got a brand new $3,000 some firearm. Don't you leave that house tomorrow without some carry insurance.
I got to get on it. I'm ready to get on it tonight. I just want to know who do you have? Because hell,
I
that
don't
might
want
just
to tell
solve it
who
all.
I have because I don't want to influence other people.
We gonna go with who you
You're
got.
an insurance expert.
Okay,
I know,
don't
but
tell,
I'm not
don't tell
a
us.
concealed
Don't tell us who you
carry
got.
insurance expert. I can tell you this. This is what I look for, and this is what I said before. So I probably sound like a repeating parrot.
That's okay.
For people that have heard me say this before, but there's some crucial things we all need if we're going to have really good insurance protection. One, criminal defense. That's everything from bail, from the time you pull that trigger or even brandish the firearm. Some policies cover brandishing, which is a whole nother thing. But you need bail, you need criminal defense, you need civil defense, you also need civil liability. Now, just listen, just bear with me.
I'm with you.
Civil defense is the trial after the criminal proceedings have ended. Whether you get charged or not, doesn't matter. Whether you are exonerated or not, doesn't matter. You're still going to get hit with a civil suit. And the civil suit is somebody coming after you personally, not when the district attorney decides they're going to charge you for whatever charge they choose. So after the criminal is over, you still have the civil to deal with. That's where people lose their life savings because they can attack your personal assets, your home, your savings account, any property that you have. Those are the things that are in jeopardy for a civil trial. So you want a policy that covers bail, criminal defense, civil defense, and then the civil penalty. So when the jury says, yes, that person may have deserved to be shot, but the family should still be awarded. And there's a recent case. Who was I talking to this about? Devilreaux. If he's in here, I can't see the chat, but if he's in here.
Yeah, he's in
We
here.
were talking about that recent case where this young girl was molested by a relative and basically sold as a prostitute by him.
Yep.
She later killed him, but it wasn't in the moment of him attacking her. They not only charged her with murder, she's going to do jail time. And I think the fine that she has to pay for his family is $150,000. Now, he raped her. She fought back by, I think she stabbed him to death. So for most of us, that sounds very justifiable. but in the eyes of the law, it wasn't in the moment of her being attacked. Now, I think it's, you know what, but that's me. But we have to keep those kinds of things in mind. A civil trial, you want your policy to cover, and you want them to cover the civil penalty when the judge says the award against you is $300,000. I don't want to give away my entire pension and my 401k savings because I shot somebody in self-defense and the court decided otherwise.
Right.
So bail, criminal, civil, those are defenses of trial. Then civil penalty, that's separate. We're going to leave red flag laws for last because that's kind of complicated or kind of muddy. You also want a policy that is going to cover you for wage loss during the trial. For example, my company, if I'm charged with a felony, immediate termination. So I would lose my job, which means immediate loss of income. And I'm responsible for taking care of me. So I don't know, I might be on the plane to want somebody's doorstep shit, because I wouldn't, if you don't have a job.
We ain't gonna let you down, see, that's all I'm saying.
How do you pay bills? You need your income. So you need income replacement. Lito, you got that brand new shiny staccato thingy. You want firearm replacement because they're going to seize your firearm. What? You don't need to replace that thing? Okay, so say you had a real gun like a Glock.
Or a Taurus.
Oh, excuse me, a Taurus. Beg your pardon. If you had a real gun like a Taurus, you would want to have that replaced because they're going to seize it depending on where you live. Mm-hmm. They may destroy it. I live in the great state of Connecticut, and they are as against guns here as the only place where the laws are tougher are New Jersey, New York, and California. Connecticut, Massachusetts are equally bad, I think. So you want to replace your firearm. There are also policies that will, but you have to be careful. So let me pause. Let me slow down. And I think Zach and I were actually talking about this before.
What's up, Patrick?
You probably have a policy that will replace your firearms if something happens to them in your home. Mm-hmm. If there's a hurricane and your house is leveled and you're safe with all the guns are destroyed, you should have a rider on your homeowner's policy or your renter's policy that will take care of your firearms. But there is a ceiling. Most policies, it's $2,500. So you have one gun that costs more than that. So you need a policy separate from all of this stuff that's going to cover what you actually own, the value of what you own. And there are only some companies that will write those kinds of policies, but that's something extra.
I'm going to ask you a trick question.
Sure.
And I know you know the answer to this. Give me maybe one company or two that offer most of that stuff that you can think of off the top of your head.
CCW Safe and US Law Shield.
Okay. So I heard Real Deal say he did his research after listening to you before, and he said that those were the two that he kind of settled on, and he chose one.
I think those are two very top-notch policies. CCW Safe has the unlimited criminal defense. There is no $2 million. There's nothing. Yeah. There's no ceiling. Now, all the policies, and I don't know why I don't start this whole insurance talk with this statement first. First of all, it has to be what they consider justified.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not justified, or you are in a place that you're not legally supposed to be in, and that could be because of a restraining order. It could be a business in your state that has a sign that says no gun people, or whatever the sign says. You know, the gun with the line through it. Mm-hmm. The places you shouldn't go. Okay. Those places. Okay. Unless you're exiting, unless the owner of the facility has asked you to leave, the property and threaten you with calling the police for trespassing, and you are attacked on your way as you leave the property, and you have to use your firearm to defend yourself, CCW will then cover that case. So there are caveats, like that's why you have, and I read all the policies for people that are saying, you know, who does she think she is? What the hell is she talking about? I've read all the policies. I went through 6 or 7 companies. I went through 10 categories for each one: bail, criminal, civil defense, red flag laws, income replacement, firearm seizure, mental health or counseling after the incident occurs. The cost is kind of the same across the board, and I'm forgetting something because that's only 9.
How about pick your own attorney?
Oh, thanks, Zachy. Yeah, the attorney thing
Zachy,
is.
I like it.
I'm sorry, Zach.
No, that's dope.
That's fine.
We call him Becky Bang anyway.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So the pick your attorney thing, I don't have a problem with, and it could be because I work in an industry where I know who my defense counsel is. And so when a case is getting ready to go to trial, I know who I'm talking to. They know me. I know them. We have a good rapport. All the attorneys that I deal with know me. So I don't have a problem with a company that selects the attorney for you. Some companies allow it. CCW Safe. Let me get this right. If there's no, you can ask for your own attorney, but they have to vet that attorney.
So, Eddie. Okay.
So like the example I gave before, you don't want your tax attorney, the guy that does your taxes for your family and your estate.
Right.
You don't want that dude showing up at your criminal defense trial when your life is on the line. Like, that's not what you want. So even though it may be someone that you know and trust, you need a criminal defense team. And one of the other things within that team that could or could not be covered on the policy are going to be expert witnesses, private investigators, because they need to get out, and you need boots on the ground. You need an urgent response team that's going to show up to the scene, be it your house or some other location. Nowadays, it's probably a damn gas station. They're going to show up to the scene. They're going to have the professional photographer. They're going to have the scene investigator. That's the guy with the little stand, the little tripod with the little lights, and he's doing the measurements and all that, and the 360 round that takes all the pictures of everything. You need the guy that's going to knock door to door and get witness statements. That's part of what the policy should offer you, because otherwise, who are you going to talk to?
Right.
How are you going to know what's happening and what's going on? You need that. You need part of your policy to have people that can show up to wherever you are, usually within 24 hours. They can go to your family, because your cell phone is going to get seized. I mean, so many things happen leading up to and right after this self-defense shooting occurs. Because, like I said, you're probably going to get arrested. They're going to take your cell phone. You're not going to have, unless you've got great recall, which I don't think I have anymore. But most people don't know anybody's phone number anymore, because we've been so dumbed down with all these electronics. You need to keep people's phone numbers written somewhere else other than captured in your cell phone. Like, you should have your carry insurance card, your license, if you need one. In this state, I do. In Illinois, you have that Ford card. You need to attach to that the phone numbers of the people you need to call in an emergency, be that a spouse, a significant other, a relative, a neighbor, whoever it is. You need that person's phone number written down, because they're going to take your phone.
Wow.
Oh, don't forget my favorite thing you need. You need crime scene cleanup.
Oh, yeah, you do have to
your
pay for that.
house. It's a mess.
Hey.
And some policies cover your house and your car, if it happens in your car, which, I don't know, I would just sell my car, I think. But you need crime scene cleanup, because if not, and I found this out when I was first researched the policies, it's like anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for the crime scene unit to come out and clean up all the body particulates that have been left behind. So they show up, they do the job, but then they send you the bill.
Wow.
So that's covered under CCW Safe and US Law Shield.
Okay.
US Law Shield, you have to buy an add-on for unlimited experts, which I did. No, I just told myself, so that's what I have.
All right, thank you. It came out. We didn't even have
I knew it was gonna come out some kind of way.
So I added on unlimited experts because just from my experience sitting in a courtroom watching trials, and these are from not shootings, but watching trials and listening to judges and watching defense counsel and plaintiff counsels and listening to witnesses, I know the most powerful voice in a courtroom, especially today, is going to be the person that can speak from a scientific and forensics point of view. Where were you? Where was the other person physically? What kind of firearm did you have? What was the distance? What was the ammunition, like the breakdown of the ammunition? So you made an expert on the crime scene itself, where it happened, the actual firearm that you used. There could be a separate witness for the actual caliber, the bullet itself, the actual projectile. So all those people, then like an expert that says that this is what happened. There are cases where there have been a physical fight, a tussle for a handgun, and now they don't know who did what. So there's an expert that's supposed to that can untangle all that. So there are people that do nothing but those scenarios. That's all they do. They come out to a crime scene and they figure out who did what and when. They don't decide who's right or wrong. They just tell you mathematically and scientifically from all the evidence present, this is the most likely scenario. That is the person that people in a jury are going to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my experience. That's what I see. Now, other people may have different courtroom experience than I do, but that's what I see. Those people that come in with hard scientific facts, they have the greatest influence on the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Because you, as the defendant, you're probably not going to testify. Your defense, your attorney has to decide whether you make a great witness or not. And that's why I say it really is important that we understand the laws in our state, because ignorance is no excuse for committing a crime. We all know that, or we should be really aware of that. Understand where you're going, where you shouldn't go. And the biggest thing, if there is a confrontation, back away. I don't mean turn your back and walk away. I mean, back away with your hands up if you have the opportunity before it gets heated. If you have an exchange with somebody that's not good, you know the vibe. I think most of us have enough street smarts to know, this thing is about to go sideways. I need to stop talking. And God knows I have a hard time doing it myself with my big mouth. But we have to at least position ourselves, if we are going to use that firearm to defend our lives, that we are doing it from a legal standpoint. And I hope nobody ever is in this circumstance, but if you have a domestic relation shooting, I don't know of any policy that will cover you. So if there is a personal restraining order, a family member, a significant other, a spouse, it doesn't matter who it is. If the incident is between yourself and someone known to you, and it's a clear pattern of a domestic issue,
Hmm.
they won't cover you. You're on your own. So
I'm looking at the U.S. Law Shield right now,
Yeah, I was looking
and
at
for like a single membership for the year, it's only $131. That's not bad, but when you got to get to the add-ons. I see that they got like add-ons like multi-state coverage.
I got multi-state and I got expert witness.
Yeah, bail
And I
bond,
think mine
expert
came to
witness.
like 230 some dollars. It wasn't $250.
Mm-hmm. And that's a year.
That's a year.
Nah, that's beautiful.
CCW Safe was about I want to say 304. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say $304 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these plans cover your spouse and your children 18 and under. So Billy, you, Erica, and Alex would be covered if it happens in your home. So if somebody came into your home, they could protect themselves and they would be covered.
Got it. Now let me ask you this. Only answer if you know.
Hey,
if
Rita.
your case or the crime you're accused of was justified and you still found guilty, are these insurance companies privy to covering an appeal case for you, or do they just back out right then?
Okay. U.S. Law Shield, CCW Safe, they both cover appeals and retrials. So if you have a mistrial because something weird happens, then they cover retrials also. So yes, those two companies I know because I read the policy to make sure.
Okay.
There are some companies that do not cover you if you're found guilty. In fact, they have what they call recoupment, which means any money they've spent, they are going to send you a bill for, and you owe it.
Yeah. Hey, real deal. Listen, I know you want to say something. You're muted.
Still muted.
You can press the button when you get ready.
There we go.
All right.
Sure. Hey, Siege. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because U.S. Law and the other one, ECW, or the one with the lion, they're both owned and run by lawyers. Isn't that correct?
CCW Safe is owned and operated by retired police people and attorneys. One of their attorneys is really pretty famous. Well, not famous. That's not the right word. Well known in the industry.
Real respected.
Defense. Yeah. U.S. Law Shield, I don't know.
Now,
The reason that U.S. Law Shield worked for me is because they had a conference in Connecticut, and I was able to go and talk to the attorney and one of his partners and ask all my questions. And I asked a boatload of questions, and they were able to answer. And I got to talk to them about, defending cases and going to trial and what their trial experience is. Now, I have to say, CCW Safe, to my knowledge, is the only carry insurance company that has taken a member from the self-defense shooting through trial to acquittal. So that's saying a lot.
That's the only company that's ever taken a person all the way through to acquittal?
That's at least in recent history that I could find. And I think that case might have been in 2015.
So what do they get people to plead out or something?
Well, that is exactly. So what happens is a lot of times people will take lesser charge.
And that's another thing. If you take a plea deal, if you're a USCCA member, if you take a plea deal, you have to pay them back.
Right.
They pay them back if you take a plea deal.
Real deal. Don't get nobody's name right. He don't give a damn who it is.
He don't give a damn.
Nobody. It just.
I mean.
Well, that's a good thing because we know what you mean, but you're not really saying anybody's name. So that's a good thing. Keep doing it.
Who, me?
Well, you do have to be careful because And this is the other thing that I think I'm sure everybody realizes, but it may not be the first thought on your mind. Innocent people are found guilty very often. It is not some anomaly. It is more likely to happen depending on the district attorney, what the gun culture is in that community, what your jury pool looks like. I mean, in Connecticut, I would be in trouble. Like, this is not the place. So that has a ton to do with it. So you're right, Real Deal. You have to think about, if I'm in an atmosphere where they are not pro 2A and I'm found guilty, so I don't get a retrial, even if I plead out and take a lesser charge, and even if it's, they do have programs where if they think you did something wrong, but they don't want to criminally charge you, they can put you in a program, and it's called different things in different places, but it's like a 1-year provisional probation where all you have to do is stay out of trouble. You don't report anywhere. You don't write anything. You don't pay any fine. Actually, no, I think it's like $75. But if you stay clean for a year, then they expunge it. They clean your record.
So they would make me pay that money back?
So you don't have to pay it. So depending on the company, you still might have to pay back the money they spent on your trial.
Wow. USCCA, you have to pay them back. US Law Shield, you do not.
US Law Shield and CCW Safe, you do not have to pay back.
Okay.
That's what I found anyway.
Me too. And US Law Shield they originally was Texas Law Shield. That's where they started. And then they became US Law Shield.
So they have a really big, they have a pretty decent website. It's not, websites don't help you if you don't understand
what you're looking
policy language. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's like, I heard people say in the earlier one last year, oh, I have whatever company, it's great. And I'm like, how do you know? You haven't been to trial. You can't possibly know the answer to that question.
Because they got a free gift bag when we became a member.
U.S. Law Shield will come do.
Nobody thinks it will happen to them.
CCW
but with over 2,000 emergency phone calls per month to our independent program attorney answered hotline, it's closer to home than you think. At U.S. Law Shield, we give you exclusive access to our 24/7, 365 emergency hotline, not a call center, direct access to our network of independent program attorneys. With a price point of only $10.95 per month and unlimited attorney hours for criminal and civil defense, U.S. Law Shield provides you with unparalleled service and protection where it matters most. No other program comes close. We believe an educated member is an empowered member. We do this by providing educational resources featuring seasoned attorneys, firearms instructors, law enforcement, and experts in all areas of self-defense law. We at U.S. Law Shield believe peace of mind should come with simple and affordable protection.
And their lawyers carry guns. They're all 2A.
Yes, they do.
Carry guns.
They absolutely. It was kind of cool because I went to a meeting and they were strapped.
That's right. So they practice what they preach. They know. Yeah. They know what.
In fact, I went in. Everybody in the room was strapped, and I was like, "Hey, little brown girl." Everybody was staring at me.
That's a good question. Ricky Godfrey just asked. He said, "Is it in our best interest? Is it in our best interest to have a CCW license along with the policy? Does it help even in a free state?"
The answer to that question is absolutely yes. That is an excellent question. CCW Safe actually requires you to send a copy of your license if you live in a state where a license is required, a licensing of any kind. They require you to send it, and I think it says 4 months. I can't remember everything I read, but I remember most things I read, and I think it said within 4 months, you have to send a copy of your license. If you don't, your policy is automatically null and void.
Okay.
I think they don't do that anymore, Siege, because when I became a member, they didn't require that for me.
Your state don't require it, though, do it?
But that was before constitutional carry.
Okay, so maybe they changed it. I thought they did. I know there are some policies or some companies that don't write for New York, New Jersey, and Washington State, and one other like weird place. I don't remember. No, I know those were 3: New York, New Jersey, and Washington State for some reason.
Let me ask you a kind of wacky question. A lot of these young children in the system are being tried as adults. Is a company like that willing to cover, not with like under a parent's coverage or whatever, like will they cover a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old? You know, because a lot of times it doesn't necessarily have to be a firearm related incident. Sometimes it's just related to weapon. Do you think they have age restrictions on, you know, who can be individually covered?
I did not read where they had age restrictions on who they would cover.
Mm-hmm.
The policy only reads that first, it does not have to be a firearm only. CCW Safe and US Law Shield both do outline that in the policy. It could be a weapon of opportunity in your home.
Yeah.
And it would still be covered. So it doesn't have to be a firearm of any kind. It doesn't, I haven't read anything where it said they would not insure, say, a 14-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It says 17 and under on that US Law Shield. If you add that minor thing, it's only $2 a month.
Oh, well,
But that's in a home. So I'm considering, you know, a kid who's out in the street and, you know, 4 or 5 kids go down the street to jump him, and he picks up a brick off the ground and uses it, you know, and he's in 10th grade, whatever that age may
15,
be. You know?
16.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that would come into play would be your homeowner's liability coverage. That actually follows you and everybody that lives in your household. Anybody legally connected to your address, your homeowner's liability coverage. I've actually had claims like that, believe it or not, where some kid got in a fight with some other kid, and the kid that got beat up, his parents sued the other kid, and the homeowner's policy covers it. It's kind of crazy, but I haven't had any fatalities like that. So I don't know if it was fatal. I'm not sure what would happen.
Okay.
But that's you know what, I'm gonna find out, Billy.
Remember,
if you got homeowners insurance, you don't need it.
You don't need a reason to sue somebody. You could just sue somebody because you're in the mood to sue somebody.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm gonna sue you for cutting out the wrong part of your beard. How about that?
Because I guess the other thing is, if it's a minor child, but if it's not a firearm, if it's a weapon of opportunity. Okay, I'm gonna find out for you. I'll let you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And that brings up a good point, Billy. When you call these companies, like I was saying earlier, think of a bunch of questions. And even if you think the question's odd or weird, ask that question anyways.
Yeah.
Ask everything you want. Get the information you want from these people before you give them your money.
And what you want to ask when you call them is, because the person answering that phone is not an attorney. I guarantee you. That's somebody that's just answering the phone. I actually tried to get an answer from a company about a part of their policy. And before I got to found what I was looking for in the policy, I did find it. But he gave me the wrong answer. He had no idea what he was talking about. He was way off. But I found what I needed in the policy, and I figured out what the answer was. But my point is, check. I know US Law Shield does seminars all over the country. Check and see if there's one going on. Even if you don't have that company, go to that seminar and ask questions that you would ask of any insurance carrier, especially when you're talking about a firearm or self-defense in your home with any other weapon of opportunity. And, have them answer you face to face.
I know U.S. Law Shield, if you call, because like you said, you call, you're not talking to a lawyer. You're talking to whoever's working. But if you have a bunch of questions, they will say, we'll have a lawyer call you back. And then you can ask that lawyer all kinds of questions too. U.S. Law Shield does do that.
They do. You can send them an email with questions. And if it's beyond the, knowledge of the person that's just answering phones, which they're mostly telling you, about the policy, how much it costs and what it covers. They're reading basically a fact sheet that you can read online. So they're not explaining to you what the coverage is and how it applies. But I think that's a really good question. If you have a minor child in your household and they have to defend themselves with a weapon of opportunity, is there coverage for that child? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
So people, check your homeowners policies because you need some good coverage if you have kids get in fights.
Yeah. And believe it or not, there's a few things in life, having a kid that's in the teen years, that can really put you back. And that's a fight and a car accident. And both of those have the opportunity to be covered under some type of insurance.
Well, if you ever have any car accident, any questions, please call me.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Please
gonna call you
do.
next time.
Anybody, if you ever have a car question about car insurance, car accident, what happened, please call me. I'd be more than happy to talk you through it. I've been doing it for a whole bunch of years.
Mm-hmm. See, you're about to be busy. You know that, right? It's cool. It's cool.
So, man, I'm over here like digging into the U.S. Law Shield site. Like, I'm really digging in. I'm on the frequently asked questions right now, y'all. If y'all was wondering why I was so quiet. Coverage. I want to look at some of these coverage questions. Matter of fact, so it asks in my covered in all 50 states, do you have to add that multi-state add-on? That sounds like a good add-on.
Yeah, I have that.
I do too.
But what is covered under multi-state?
All 50 states plus something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually coverage that helps extend coverage to every state except where it's illegal to carry insurance.
Okay.
So I think most policies will say it will cover 47, all states except, and then it'll list the exceptions,
like
or
Hawaii.
it'll say 47 states, because New York, New Jersey, and Washington states are usually the three outliers that I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Now let me ask you, if you guys are familiar, is there any form of drug testing or alcohol testing directly after a shooting or a self-defense shooting?
Okay, so this is where the decision that you make, you need to know what you're going to do before it happens. So you have to kind of pre-think about this. Mm-hmm. If you're involved in a situation, sometimes, and I'm sure you've all heard people recommend that you ask for an ambulance or you ask to be taken to an emergency room. If you do, they are going to test you. So be careful. They probably will.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's like, the 2 a.m. in the morning, the 1 a.m. in the morning. And I know this because I see police reports all the time where even the person that's not at fault gets tested because it's 2:30 in the morning and both cars are crumpled like accordions against a guardrail somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the guy that wasn't at fault, he gets tested. And that's the guy that comes back, with like 0.18 and cocaine in the system. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful.
Yes.
Wow. I'm reading the frequently asked questions, y'all. Y'all might want to go check that out because I don't want to have to read it all on the live, but I just went through the frequently asked questions of the coverage and I thought it was pretty dope. It's not bad. Price is not bad.
I got a wacky scenario.
Damn it, Billy.
Damn it. I'm sorry. Gotta get this out. You're at, I don't know, the gas station. And you're in a concealed carry. Now, only because this happened to a friend of ours. You're concealed carrying in a concealed carry state. You go to the gas station, you drop your keys on the floor, you bend down, your gun is brandished, and the police are standing there. You get arrested for brandishing a gun. You weren't even touching it. There was nobody else involved, but now you have a firearm related charge. Is that something to get? Is that extreme enough to get somebody like U.S. Law Shield involved?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the first call you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the perfect scenario where that defense attorney in that state on the ground knows the prosecutor. He knows everybody. Before that charge even gets to the prosecutor, that your counsel can get into the prosecutor's ear and say, hey, my client was in the, getting gas. He went in the store to grab a soda.
Mm-hmm.
He's been legally carrying for this many years. Here are his credentials. He's got no record. What, we can't bend over now? We can't buy soda? That's what your counsel is for. I mean, those are the kinds of arguments that they can make on your behalf.
Yeah, good.
And that's what they do. I mean,
we have a friend that something similar happened and he was out of state. And Lito, he get arrested or ticketed? Do you remember? Did he get arrested or ticketed for that charge?
Who? Wait, don't say who, but
I ain't gonna say who, but
wait, what happened?
Somebody was in Florida and a gun was brandished by accident.
Oh.
That was just
yeah. Still dealing with it.
Still dealing with it. All right. Maybe we can give him some heads up on things.
There's brandishing coverage under CCW Safe.
CCW Safe is dope.
They're a good company.
I don't know if U.S. Law Shield has verbiage related to brandishing. I'm not sure, but I can find out. But CCW Safe, it says it somewhere on their website. I'm almost positive. Because CCW Safe, I'm trying to recall their website in my head. It has a defender plan, I think it's called, one for citizens. Then they have one for retired law enforcement and military, and one for active law enforcement. And not, but that doesn't include people that are in bodyguard people. It doesn't include that, but it does. They do have separate policies for what they consider regular citizens versus law enforcement and retired military or something like that. But they do cover brandishing. I know that.
All right.
Now I'm just looking at CCW Safe too, and they seem to be a little bit more expensive.
Then
But
they might offer a tickle more.
Yeah.
Well, especially if they cover things like brandishing.
Yeah.
If they cover red flag laws, and we haven't even talked about red flag laws, and I'm telling you, those things will mess your life up.
U.S. Law Shield covers red flag laws.
U.S. Law Shield does. CCW Safe does also.
That's one of the first questions I asked him when I called.
So if we could explain for anybody who might not understand it or hasn't come across their radar, red flag laws. If one of you guys want to elaborate on that.
It's just really when someone contacts law enforcement and reports you as a danger, that you have a firearm and you're dangerous for some reason. It could be because there's psychological, emotional problems. There could be substance abuse problems. It could be domestic violence problems. It could be somebody that's just out to get you.
Yeah, because often there's an anonymous if I'm correct, they don't have to be
Identify themselves.
Identified, exactly. And aside from that, there doesn't have to be a search for the claim that you stated.
Right. They
don't evaluate it.
I'll use this.
Yeah, they can just say this person is threatening whomever.
It could be simple like this. I'm talking to my neighbor. We're talking politics. My other neighbor hears me, my one neighbor, talking politics. He doesn't like what I'm saying. I go home, and an hour later, the police are at my house because the one neighbor that heard me, my one neighbor, talking politics, called the police and says, "I think this guy's dangerous."
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing up because under red flag laws.
Now, the other caveat to that is one, and I know before everybody puts my head on the peg, not all law enforcement is so gullible that they believe that every call that they get like that is a real threat.
Yeah.
There are officers that really understand the law and understand how detrimental that can be, because once that charge is levied, you have to go through a process. In most states, there is a hearing. You go before a judge, and the judge then determines whether it's a valid issue or not valid. But still, nobody wants to be accused of something that serious when they didn't do it.
And also, while you're going through that process, they come and remove all your firearms because you're not allowed to have
Every
until
weapon
it's
in
dissolved.
your house, and not just your firearms. Like they would take my katanas, they would take all my knives, they would take all my guns, all my rifles, all my ammo. They would take everything.
Yeah.
So they take all your stuff.
So what they do, what red flags are is you're guilty. The way our system's supposed to be set up, you're innocent till you're proven guilty. A red flag law is you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to be the voice of reason. The red flag law is you are a possible threat until they can clear you otherwise. That's the nice version.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm usually like real deal. I'm usually like him, like this is. But
now, is the red flag law? If you guys are familiar, is that the umbrella, or are you directly charged with something pertaining to red flag? Like how? At what point?
It's really
an umbrella thing. So
out of that could come several charges. Statistically, most of, not all, I don't have the exact number, most of red flag charges come about from domestic disturbance calls.
Yeah.
That's the majority of them. There are other outliers where people are in disagreement, or where a neighbor is kind of, stalking up and down your property line, and you can clearly see their gun and they're not hiding it. And then, that's a reason where somebody may report that. But then the police officer in that area, whoever is assigned, has to come out, talk to that person, and then they can also make a judgment call. Everybody doesn't get arrested and everything seized. It just depends on the situation. But the accusation is, difficult to navigate. And then they show up at your house, and that's when you need to be calm and in control, and of course respectful and agreeable. You need to be agreeable, but you don't need to open your house.
All right, Roadblock.
That's right. That's
2A in LA. I think we've been looking at CCW Safe and US Law Shield seems to be, pretty similar and running ahead of USCCA for just some of the features. USCCA seems to be a different type of organization. Now, the civil, what was it? What was that? The civil liability?
Civil defense?
No.
It's civil liability, meaning if you shoot somebody and you kill them, then their family turns around and sues you for everything you have because they can.
Now, is there?
I couldn't find that with US Law Shield.
Is there a liability cap on that for U.S. Law Shield?
There might be.
Yeah, because if you're very well off and that happens, I don't know if they're willing to cover, $20 million.
If you have assets to protect, and everybody's definition of well off is different. If you have property, if you have a small business that's doing well, you should have a personal umbrella policy.
Mm-hmm.
We call them PUP policies. A personal umbrella policy gives you liability coverage should anything happen and you get personally sued and there's no other policy to cover you.
Yeah.
So if you have, say you have a ranch and kids come to, I don't know, do hay rides in October, you need to have a PUP policy in case somebody gets hurt on your property.
Yeah.
It's no different. Liability coverage is liability coverage. So there are other things you can get on top of that. And not every policy is going to give you 100% coverage. I found that out too.
Yeah.
Okay. So some people have a combination of policies. I mean, for me, it's $200 or $300 a year is nothing for me, but I'm fortunate in that. Everybody may not be as fortunate, so they want to choose very carefully. But then within those parameters, you also need to make sure you are legal. You're only where you're supposed to be. You're not flying off the handle. For the love of God, stay out of gas stations. They seem to be like the trigger for everything.
And Popeyes.
Sorry, Devil Roll.
Get gas during the day. Don't go after dark.
So is there any other companies out there, and this is for anybody in the chat or us on the panel here, that you could think of that we may be missing out? Like, I know right now we're kind of focusing on those two. I see somebody put Delta Defense, Exquisite Tactical. What's up with you?
Delta Defense, that's who USCCA is Delta Defense.
Okay.
And so if you're found guilty, you better get your checkbook out.
You better have a PUP policy. You should probably have one anyway.
Is PUP kind of like gap insurance that's unspecified? Kind of something. Yeah.
Over and it's either called a PUP policy, personal umbrella policy. So the umbrella is actually what it does. It covers you, so to speak.
Yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, US law, and then the other company we're talking about are Air Jordans, and USCCA is the fake Jordans you buy at Kmart. They to the fire. They help.
It's Shaq, huh?
It's just different. What it offers is different, and what it focuses on is different.
It's totally different.
It focuses on education.
That's right. They're an education company that throws in some insurance to get. That's their hook. But their main focus is their videos. I want a company that their main focus is helping me out if I ever get in that time of need.
Now, on that, I have to say I agree with you 100%. My focus on carry insurance is not so much for the education because I have other sources to go to for that. My focus really is covering my six if I get into some situation that requires me to defend my life. That's what I want my insurance to do.
Because that's going to be the worst day of my life, because a shitstorm's getting ready to head my way, and I need somebody that has my back.
Absolutely.
Don't want to get caught in that.
See, you did any research into that I guess they're like the newest company, right? The Bear.
That's
so
PSA.
They seem to offer some of that same thing that you were saying: unlimited civil, criminal defense.
What's it called?
Support, right to bear.
Okay.
That's PSA.
Cole, she's gonna look it up right now.
Because they seem to offer some of the stuff she said, like they have expert witness coverage, firearm self-defense. They offer some training stuff. They do.
They all seem to offer some training stuff. Even
witness.
U.S. Law Shield and CCWC.
Yeah, because it's cheaper for them to offer the training stuff than to cover you after you fuck that up.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's get this out the way now. Billy, are you gonna get insurance?
Yes.
Damn.
Billy, you gonna spend some money?
You got
Even
seeds in
if
front of
Billy
me.
doesn't want, if Billy doesn't want to get covered because he's never going to make a mistake and he's with his open carrying self, he's never going to have to use coverage. What about my sister and Alex?
You're right.
Like,
That's-
if something happens to Billy, who's going to replace his income while his trial is going on?
Ain't nobody else coming up in here.
Jody. Jody go.
You get a phone call. I'm getting out.
I'm just
I'll be
saying.
home tomorrow.
Real deal. Gonna be talking about I've been wearing your slippers, man. Is that something?
So you got to do it for your families. Like Zach has little Zach. He's got to think about. So it's not always about you. Like don't think only in terms of coverage for yourself. Think in terms of if your income is gone because you are involved in this criminal trial, which could be months or years. If you're charged and it goes to trial, it's probably going to be at least a year, especially now. And the way things are backed up in the court system now, I've got cases that have been waiting so long that they had to put out a legal extension because of COVID. That's how backed up the courts are. So
That's right. You don't want to have to sell your house to stay out of prison.
You don't want to. And this is actually a story that happened to somebody in this state. It was brandishing. This is the other thing, and I didn't say this. If you are ever involved in a situation, you must call 911 and report it. Now, what you say is a whole nother conversation. We're going to save that for some other day, some other time, and let some other expert talk about that. But the person that makes the first call is in the best position. Yeah. So even if you brandish and this guy, for example, this guy was going to an apartment complex, got out of his car. 3 other dudes got out of their car. They were following him. One had a gun. He had his gun. He was legal. They were not. They thought they were going to take him. But as soon as he pulled his jacket open and he put his hand on his firearm, he didn't even draw it. They left him alone. They called 911 and reported that he pulled a gun on them. He was arrested. He had to sell his house, sell his car. It was something like 9 or 10 months later, he finally got out of jail. His job was gone. Mm-hmm. His property was gone because he had to sell it because he didn't have insurance. So he had no coverage. He had to pay for his legal defense. It was something like $190 something $1,000, and he didn't even go to trial. He got out on brandishing after 9 or 10 months, and that was still almost $200,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now suppose he was the breadwinner in the family, and he's gone for 9 months, and now the family has to sell the house. Where are they going to go? Don't do that to your family. Like, don't put them in the position of not having any choice except to sell the only property you have because you didn't spend $200 a year for carry insurance. Like, don't do that to the people around you.
Yeah,
that's right. It's only $200 to $300 a month or a year. Mm-hmm. So if you own 5 guns and you're thinking about buying another one, why don't you get insurance and put that gun and just put that on layaway, man.
Hey, Exquisite, I'm not sure if you missed it or not, but Delta Defense is USCCA insurance. And
yeah, that's all it
is. It's not so well in comparison to these other coverage policies that we're talking about.
Steve, can you look into, when you get some time, this right to bear, though? They actually look dope.
Yeah.
And
I don't know a lot about them, but I know they're relatively a new company.
Now, Right to Bear is owned by PSA.
Okay, good. PSA is blowing up. Hey, as far as the salary coverage, is there a cap on that you guys are aware of for?
It's anywhere from $250 to $350 per day.
Okay, all right.
There might be an overall cap on it or a time cap on it. I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I'm gonna ask all these questions.
U.S. law, they have a YouTube channel called Armed Attorneys, and they talk about laws and that kind of stuff.
That's them. Armed Attorneys is them.
Yes, yeah.
I watched them. I didn't know that was U.S. Law Shield.
That's U.S. Law Shield.
And they do live YouTube things sometimes too. So if you're following those channels, you can go on the live and ask questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Chucky Madness, I got you, bro. I'm watching. Yeah, man. And
the Armed Attorneys, they look like a husband and wife couple. I don't know if they're married or not, but they're
not married.
Because I watch them, they always talk about different things when it comes to different laws and stuff and things going through the Supreme Court. So, I didn't know that they were with U.S. Law Shield, though.
Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah. They give good information.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about comparison for what you want. If you're not the breadwinner in your family and you're not worried about income, then maybe you don't want a policy where you're going to pay for income coverage, because a lot of these policies you can't split apart what you get. Like it's just a lump package. Yeah. So maybe if you're single and it's just you don't have a significant other and you don't have any children, maybe you choose a policy where you can choose to pay less because you're only paying for one person. Maybe you don't need income coverage because you're good. You've got savings. Maybe you don't care about how much the bond is, if there's a cap on the bond, because you can get to money quickly. And you have to think about, in one phone call, can you get to $10,000 if you need it, or $50,000, or whatever the bond is? Can you get that 10%? It could be $10,000. It could be $50,000. Some people can, some people can't. So you choose your policy based on what your financial situation is.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to have a fight with your wife that morning and then end up in a shooting, because she may not come get you out of jail.
You speaking from experience?
That would be terrible.
My wife told me I do something stupid. She ain't bailing me out.
Days.
She already told me I do something stupid. She ain't bailing me out. So
real deal. Did you go pick up that gun?
Which one?
For the wife.
Oh, it's still on layaway.
Wait, why is her gun on layaway?
Because I sold her gun and she got mad, so she told me to go get another one.
I know, but you should have just paid for it.
The way our system works is our money is our money. It's not my money, her money. So I tell each week, I say, I'm going to the gun store. I'm going to the gun store. How much money you want me to put on your gun? And she tells me. So I go, and then I go do it.
Okay, well, at least she gets to tell you. Okay, that's good. That's all right.
I do have to say this, though. I'm dipping my big toe in the 1911 world.
Oh, nice.
Nice place to be, bro.
I'm getting a Ronin 10 mil from Springfield.
Ooh,
nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I have insurance to go with it.
All right.
Man, that right to bear looks interesting, man. Now, see, I don't know. I was like 80% signed up with U.S. Law Shield and right to bear right now. Like
I saw that guy on one of Big Dre's lives. I saw that guy. He came in there.
Just see what they pay and what they don't. It's really about what they don't cover. Like,
that's right.
See what they don't cover, and if it's what you need, then that's not a good plan for you.
Damn. They seem they got unlimited everything. That's what I wanted.
If you're found guilty, do they still fight for you? That's a big one for me. That's a huge for me.
That is a big one.
Do I gotta pay him back?
Huge. No, I have to.
Because I am a free man and I do not need to be behind bars.
Yeah, I'm not cut out for jail.
Nah.
Jail, prison, none of that. Okay, let's see what they have. Coverage. And see, this is the thing. When I look at their website, right to bear, it's about, and then the very next tab is education. So that tells you something. It's set up that way for a reason. So pay attention to the little details because it's going to help you determine what this company.
And they want my email address right out the gate too.
Got replacement.
That just annoys me.
I believe they're about 6 or 8 months old. They're pretty new.
Yeah.
They might not make it.
Bail. Okay, bail is good. Gun replacement. Household partner or spousal coverage. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Expert witness. Okay, all right, here we go. Civil defense. Choose your own attorney. Yeah, depends. Criminal defense. Don't get tricked up on criminal defense and the criminal, the fine. Those are two separate things. The the civil defense is just the court part. But the verdict, like if they say, oh, $50,000, that's separate.
Okay.
So you need a policy that covers both. Unless you have the money, then you're good. If that's
you mean you talking about the civil penalty?
Yes. After the trial is over, whatever that verdict dollar amount is, that's different than the coverage for the trial itself. Those are two separate categories. And I know a lot of times the way we say it, it sounds like it's all balled together, but it's not. So don't get tripped up on that.
The one thing I do see is says bail reimbursement provides money for bail up to $100,000. That sounds like I got to put it out first, and and
then they'll give it to you down the road.
Let me ask you this thought.
That might be.
That's a deal breaker.
Well, not really, because think about it like this: the other policies are only giving you if you have to put up a bond, and a self-defense case, you probably are going to have to. So you only have to pay the 10%, but you still have to put up a bond for the rest. So if it's $100,000, you only have to pay $10,000, but you've still got to put up something to secure that other $90,000. No policy is going to cover that. So that's a separate, like people only think one part bail, 10%. No, if it's a bond and it's in a self-defense situation, if you have a house, how many people have lost houses because they put it up for bond and then the person jumps and they don't show up? So that's not cool.
So imagine this part. You own a firearm and you have coverage, but your firearm is stolen and then used in a crime. So you didn't commit a crime at all.
Okay.
Can you still be liable and still covered under that stipulation or scenario?
Okay,
U.S. law will cover you because that's one of the questions I asked them.
So if someone breaks into my wherever, steals my gun, commits a crime, then they commit a crime against someone, and then someone basically tries to hold me responsible because they stole my gun, U.S. Law Shield will cover that civil trial for me?
Yep. And they'll cover the trial. If you have to go to court and fight it, like if they try to charge you, you didn't have your gun in a proper safe place and they got stolen, they cover you. That was like the second question I asked them. First was red flag laws. There was that law. And actually the first question was, if I lose the case, will you still fight for me? And they said, absolutely, we still fight for you. And do I have to pay you back? And they're like, no. And then I asked them about the red flag laws, and I asked them I said, so I keep a gun in my truck. I'm at work. Somebody breaks in my truck, steals my gun, uses it in a crime. Am I covered by U.S. law? They said, absolutely.
I like that.
I'm going to call them tomorrow and tell them that I need a job because I'm pushing hard for them. But
you could sell some insurance, bro.
They're a good company. They checked off all the
checkboxes. Jumping costs on crib. That's not funny, man. That's not funny.
That's messed up.
I can't see their policy, so this is just telling me like fluffy stuff. I want to.
Yeah.
So real deal.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this, man. Real deal. Real deal shield. It's got a ring to it.
Real deal shield.
That's right.
You own the shirts.
I like it.
And they'll fight for you, and at the end of the day, you will live free.
Thank you, Mr. Burton.
What the heck?
Yeah, Mr. Burton, be safe, bro.
See, do they like if I just were to call them and say, hey, I'd like to get a copy of your policy so I can read over it before I join? Will they? You think they would be willing to give me that?
They should be.
If they would, I'd be worried about it.
Like, why would you want your people to know exactly what they're buying?
True. I just wonder.
I think that's a good question, and I would, if they said no, I would wonder why.
I would ask why.
Yeah, like why would you not show me what I'm buying? Why do I not have the right to fully read
and comprehend
what coverage you're providing? What keeps you from disclosing it? It shouldn't be a secret.
Right.
Where are the limits? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and their website was a little bit I couldn't find all that stuff. Like they got a fact page, but
yeah, I mean that's why aren't they putting their policy up on their website for you to look at?
I guess to prevent other companies from trying to recreate the policy. Maybe.
I mean, all policies have the basic same fundamental pieces of coverage. I mean, bail, criminal, civil, red flag.
You know what's weird? All right, so here's a wacky question that y'all might maybe not have an answer, whatever. You do a self-defense shooting, you're arrested, they cover you, they bail you out, you're going to court, and the shit happens again.
That's called an occurrence.
An occurrence?
Right. That's what a policy that's called an occurrence. So you want a policy that does not have an occurrence limit. Now, to my understanding, U.S. Law Shield and CCW Safe do not have occurrence policies. So it doesn't say you can only do this once every however many months. Usually it's 12 months, like in a cycle.
Lightning.
So if I get bailed out or bonded out or whatever, and I go home and I grab my other gun because I'm not going to be walking around not carrying. I go out to a different gas station and I got to pop somebody else. They gonna cover me for that too?
They're gonna cover you.
Because let's face it, you shoot somebody, they have family. Family gets pissed off. They may come after you.
Yeah, especially if you just got let out of jail.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
I dig it. Dope.
And remember this.
It says we only cover, there's an occurrence, and you don't want a policy that attached to that occurrence is that money gets eaten away. In other words, if it's $2 million, you want to make sure it's $2 million per occurrence.
Not in LA. Thank you, brother.
Not $2 million over this cycle, because like you said, suppose something happens 2 days later.
Yeah.
You don't want that money to get eaten up over time. Like you want it to always be the same level of coverage available.
Okay.
And remember this may be something that we say we know, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. If you're in a shooting, you call 911, you call your lawyer says, okay, you be quiet, we'll meet you at the precinct, or we'll meet you on the scene, because they'll ask you where you're at. Do not talk to nobody. It doesn't matter if that cop comes up to you and say, man, this was a justified shooting, you were definitely in the right. You don't talk to him, you shut up. Your lawyer does your talking for you. He doesn't tell. If he tells you that he's going to invite you over next Sunday to his house for a barbecue. You shut up, man. You don't.
Yeah.
You
I
don't
believe
talk to the
that
police.
the cop say something to you. What's your name? I need my attorney.
That's right.
That's it. I have nothing to say to you because
right.
anything can and will be used against you. I have nothing to say to you.
And speaking on that level, please, anybody in this chat, on the panel that watches it later when it views, these are amazing people from the community that took their time to be on the screen with us. They're not professionals in these sectors anyway. They're not lawyers. They're not practicing, and they're not giving you legal advice. They're just people like me, people like Lito, people like Zach that came on here.
Nothing. I don't even got it.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of blue collar
things.
Don't
so,
listen to me.
y'all, please don't take this literally.
Really, make a disclaimer sign. Make a disclaimer sign. Disclaimer.
Yep.
Well, everybody do their own. Like I said before, I encourage every person listening to do their own research, look at the different companies, decide what's affordable for you. It's better to have something than nothing. At least have criminal, civil, and bail. If that's all you can get that.
A2A in LA, what made you choose CCW over like US Law Shield? Was it something that made you lean that way?
I'm not going to answer for him, but I guarantee a lot of people chooses it because they see their commercials all the time. U.S. Law Shield really, and these other companies don't really push the ads like USCCA does.
Yeah, you see USCCA.
No. He got CCW safe.
Oh, yeah, that's a good company.
So I'm curious, as to what made him go that route. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And believe me, the influence that you guys are making change is definitely making a sway, and hopefully for the better for a lot of people. Just alone. So y'all are killing it, man. Y'all
this is good. But I looked at all three of them. The CCW safe, U.S. Law Shield, and that right to bear.
I like right to bear. That's what I use, and I like them because they're an actual insurance company.
Okay. So you said, are none of the other ones are?
No, they're like
Tanjay, what up?
They're like a group of attorneys
gang.
Come together. Like you have to use their attorneys and all this type of stuff.
Yeah,
right to bear ain't like that. Right to bear, you have an incident, you call them, hey, this is what happened. They cut you a check, just like your car insurance. And you go hire your own attorney. You find who you want to represent you. You're not stuck to their attorneys.
U.S. law the same way. You don't have to use their attorneys, and you're allowed to fire. You can fire the attorney they assign to you, and you can pick your own attorney. And
you can have for most policies, you can select an attorney of your choice, but they have to be vetted. The reason that it's not always bad to have an attorney assigned to you is because most people don't know any criminal defense attorneys in their state that specialize in 2A. And there's a difference. All criminal attorneys don't handle all criminal matters. So if you know somebody, that's great. Then maybe you want that company that doesn't assign you a network attorney. But these aren't some bum attorneys. Like
those attorneys.
You don't want your cousin Vinny come down and help you.
Yeah, I didn't say they were bum attorneys, but I've had people that's dealt with USCCA. We personally dealt with them at our store. My boss, he actually paid for us to have USCCA. We had their elite platinum membership. And they started making all their changes and doing all this weird stuff. He pulled away from them, and they don't come to our classes anymore or anything.
That's good.
Because they've gotten to a point now to where it was like, well, if you get in a situation and we look at the situation and we don't feel like that we can win that situation if we represent you in court, we won't even take it.
That's right.
So I don't want to put myself out there like that.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I don't advocate for any of these companies. I don't work for them. They're not paying me. I'm not endorsing anybody. I think every person needs to line these things up side by side and see what works best for them. And if you have questions, ask, like you're saying, Dre, so that you know what you're getting, you know what's covered, you know what's not covered, and then you make the best decision for you. But get something to protect yourself.
You know,
hey, do me a favor, y'all. Nobody read Devil Rose statement too slow, because I read that shit too slow. I was like, what the fuck?
I can't read the comments.
Wait, what did you say? I can't see the comments.
Don't worry about it, see. Just not.
I read that shit too slow.
This is the way I look at it. U.S. law, and the other insurance company is like a 100-year-old scotch, and USCCA is like Mad Dog 2020.
Damn. You went from Shaq to Mad Dog
2020.
I like Mad Dog 2020.
Teddy said, I don't know none of them,
and
so I have all of them.
Man. That stuff will kill you.
Teddy said she got all of them because she don't trust none of them. Damn.
They be on that bullshit, man.
Well, lots of people have more than one, and that's not always a bad idea.
And see, you gotta be careful about that too, Siege, because if you got more than one, you got to make sure that they're gonna work together, and one's not gonna cancel out the other one. Or
there should be a clause and there is a clause in the policy that tells you, it's called priority of coverage, and it tells you in what order the coverage would be applied if there is an incident where it comes into play. So priority of coverage.
Just like having two health insurances.
Right.
Primary and secondary.
Right. I see it all the time.
Yep.
So you want your policy to have that written out about what the priority of coverage is.
Right. If there is another policy in place with similar or same coverage, you want to make sure it doesn't get canceled out.
Okay.
And it'll say that. So you want to read the exclusions. There should be a whole section in the policy that tells you all the stuff they're not going to pay you for. So I read exclusions before I read the coverage.
Okay.
That's the best way to figure out sometimes, is this a good fit for me or is this just not going to help?
I know Right to Bear recently just sent out an email about a bunch of changes they made, like add-ons they added and stuff like that. So there's stuff you can do to enhance your current coverage. Mm-hmm. And you're covered in all 50 with them because it is an insurance company. Mm-hmm. It's not,
And that's a difference too. In some policies, you are not the named insured. So that's a huge difference. Now, for a lot of people, it's not going to make any difference at all. It's more of a technicality if it comes down to that. But they will say on their website, we are not an insurance company. Some of the policies do say that. So just read it. And if you don't know what that means, call them and ask them to explain. And if they can't, that's a problem. That's a red flag.
I was getting ready to ask you that, Siege.
Thank you, Mega TV. Thank you.
Can you give like I guess some sort of short summary? What you're not the name insured? Can you like a short summary of that? What is that? Is that different with every company or?
Yeah, if you are the named insured, you really have control over that policy. You are the one and if the attorney has, inappropriate behavior legally, if they do something wrong, if you are the named insured, you can actually sue that attorney. If you're not the named insured, you don't have a right to bring suit against that attorney or that company because you are a secondary. You're not a named insured. It's not your policy. The policy's never going to come with Zach on it.
I thought I heard the guy from USCCA say something like that about them. Like they were
You're not the named insured with USCCA. And I tried to get him to explain that when he was on, but I don't think he understood what that really meant when you break it down. Which he said he was the sales guy, not the insurance expert, but he couldn't explain what the policy was that he was selling to people. And I'm just kind of
that threw me off.
Is that something that should be a deal breaker? If you're not the name insured, is that something that should be a deal breaker?
I don't think so. For me, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole reason I went with Right to Bear in the first place is, I had him on my channel. And the Perry Orth guy that I had on the channel, when Palmetto State Armory wanted to put that company together, they went to him and his business partner, Morissette. I think it's Morissette Insurance. It's something like that. It's a weird name, but they're an actual insurance company. And he had them put the program together. And then their underwriter is another insurance underwriter that specializes in special need policies like this. So they are actually an insurance company. So like my business insurance or armament, that is under them as well. That would be under them as well.
Well, I tried to look for Right to Bear's policy, but I couldn't find it online. So I don't know what it says.
Yeah, all that stuff is pretty much spelled out. You know what I'm saying?
Hell no, Dre.
Yeah, Dre, it's just,
none of this shit.
Yeah, policies, man. Yeah, they don't spell that stuff out.
It's not spelled out. I assure you. I read policies all day, every day. It's not spelled out on their website.
I didn't just sit down and just read the actual policy. I just read what was on each part of the riders or whatever. And then I've talked to them so much about what they offer and what they do.
See, I'm a policy girl. I believe in what my eyes tell me.
Yeah.
I know if it's on that policy and it's in print and there is any kind of fallout,
then you sign it.
I'm going to go back to the ambiguity of the policy, and that is going to win me the day. And I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again. So
right.
I know how important to me a policy is. Very important.
It don't matter what anybody says. It's what's in writing that matters. That's what counts.
You ain't gonna run her back on that word?
What?
Oh,
what she say? I missed it.
Ambiguity.
Dre.
No way to pronounce it.
Ambiguity.
What did you say, Steve?
I've never been able to say that one.
Ambiguity?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't hear it, but what that is?
That means a gun gets to shoot from both sides.
Oh, okay.
What that is, I don't understand that question, but I'm going to explain ambiguity. It's in the policy. It will say in your auto insurance policy, if you read something, your interpretation as somebody that's a non-expert, the judge is going to take your word that your understanding is this, because you're not an expert. If I'm an insurance adjuster and I go into a courtroom and say, well, this is what the policy really means, the judge is going to say, well, this is what a rational, normal person would think this means. So if there's a gray area, that's ambiguous. It's unclear. They're going to side with the non-expert because they don't expect you to know all the ins and outs and details of what every word in that policy means. So that's why I need to see the policy, because those words are going to help support me going forward. I want to know what they're really giving me. And you can't know if you don't see the policy and you don't see the coverage.
Bro, you know how you listen to me all day yelling about ISRs and SARs and stuff when I'm writing? Sometimes I make stuff ambiguous on purpose. It's a way of writing and putting something out there so to not put the financial institution on the hook. There's certain ways that I'll write something so that it's ambiguous. So it's like it's sort of like it's not really understood.
Yeah.
You know that word reminds me of? Remember in Living Color, the guy that was in prison would always use those words?
Yes.
Big words.
Yeah, David Wayans character.
Yeah.
Listen,
allow me while I excrete my flatulence.
Can somebody say it again, please?
Ambiguity.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. Yeah, it's just the ambiguous brother.
Mm-hmm.
See, I would think that meant like that was some other form of fat. Ambiguous, like that just sounds
like one of the
damn boy, that girl had an ambiguous.
You're ambiguous.
Right, Billy. That's what I was thinking. Ambiguous. That's
damn that girl ambiguous.
Yeah.
That's mama too. She ambiguous.
Man, this has been amazing though. So now I'm a little on the edge, but I made a promise. I'm about to give one of these companies 100%.
Stay away from Mad Dog 2020.
Call him and ask them questions, bro. Call him and ask those questions.
I am. I'm gonna call tomorrow morning. First
I think everybody needs to rewatch this episode. Let it sink in for a day or so. Go back to it. Just make some references back to it, and then have those questions ready. Don't, like I said, this ain't the truth here. This ain't the final word. But keep these questions that we're asking for yourself to go out and ask.
I'll tell y'all who I went with after tomorrow.
Same
one of them.
Same OG just put it out there for you. In street terminology is wordplay.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thanks, same OG. That's what I need, man. That's what I need. I need that right there. I need a translator.
If you get a policy tomorrow and you have it for 60 days and you pay monthly, I think for most companies it's a 30-day written notice. You can cancel the policy and stop the payment. So get something now, and then if you want to change it,
so that's what I was gonna say. Maybe I should do that. Like go monthly, and then do my research, and then go. And then if I say, all right, this is the one, then go ahead and pay for the year, because I don't want to pay up a year right now and then.
Real deal said they'll give you your money back. Like if you do for 2 months and then you go back, they'll give you the remainder of the policy.
Or they prorate it.
Well, I don't know about U.S. law, but
USCCA
sucks so bad that people call them all the time. They just
okay.
It's easy to get back their money. But USCCA does that. If you call and cancel, they give you back your money.
Real deal. Who you done shot in USCCA didn't do what they were supposed to?
Yeah, you really did some shit to find out how bad they were.
Real Deal had me worried, because he said the first question I asked is the red flag laws. Real Deal got that neighbor over there that say they don't like his beard.
I'm gonna tell you who got me all fired up, and that's the beautiful lady above me. She's the one, when she came on the first time, was talking about insurance. I'm like, I have USCCA.
Oh, he was talking about C's. I'm like, oh, damn. He said a beautiful
and then
lady.
she was saying about what they didn't do. I was like, oh, hell no. And so I dived deep into it, and I came up with U.S. law. Like I said, the two I was running with was U.S. Law Shield, and the other one with the I can never remember their names. The one with the lion.
CCW Safe.
Yeah. And they're both excellent companies. I would have been happy with either one, but U.S. Law Shield, I talked to them. They answered my questions, and everything else just sold the deal for me.
Hey, Grand Life AJ said they ain't give him nothing back.
Don't be worried.
Niece, damn, I got USCCA. Y'all got me worried. You should be.
You should be worried, because if you end up in jail, there's a big guy waiting for you on USCCA. He's gonna let you stay there.
I think this is a young lady. I hope it ain't no
young lady.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, might be a big lady waiting for you.
Bertho's waiting for you. Bertho's waiting for you.
Oh my God.
He's like, fresh meat, new fish.
Understand what
the Real Deal definitely been locked up.
Just know what you have, and if you're not sure what it is, find out.
Yeah, ask questions.
Everybody do your own research. If you want to reach out to me, I'm more than glad to take a phone call and talk to you about it. I do this stuff all day. I don't work for any of these companies, none of that stuff. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert. I'm not giving legal advice, none of that. It's just my own independent research. I spent hours, and for people that kind of know me a little bit, you know what a nerd I am. You know how I get it and how I need every detail lined up just perfectly.
Hey, Monte, what up?
And remember, you should get fired up about this, because this is your life you're talking about.
That's right.
This is literally your life you are talking about and making decisions on. Hopefully, you'll never have to use it, but if you do, this is your life, and this is your family's life. So that's a big deal.
Hey, Monte, you got to go back and watch it, brother. But from in a nutshell, USCCA is more of a training and educational platform versus insurance.
Right. It's Mad Dog 2020. So good for you.
Option for insurance, and then kind of the recommendations. We don't even get no recommendations. Just kind of what we're seeing people go with is U.S. Law Shield, CCW Safe, and then Right to Bear seems pretty dope. I just want to look at them and get a little bit more information. So I'm gonna call them tomorrow and ask some key questions.
So yeah. So U.S. Law Shield and CCW is in the bowling alley beating it out, and USCCA is dicking around on the video games. It's pretty much
That whole everything you just said should probably be said
Right.
different.
I mean, just say the whole thing.
And it don't matter. I just, you know what? It's time to get off the live because that just went wrong. And you didn't even realize it went wrong. You just kept talking.
It's like we see an accident, you see it in slow-mo.
Right.
Oh man.
But,
Shout out to
Junior-
everybody who understood me. I had a good time tonight, y'all.
Yeah, it was pretty
I
dope.
did too.
Right.
Only one niece says she live in LA. Welcome to the chat. As a woman of color, I need real protection. Absolutely. It's just a matter of looking at just looking into some of these other companies. Just go check them out and see what you come up with. Come back to the channel. Let me know what you found.
And make sure they write policies for that
Right.
state.
Yeah.
And ask for a copy of the policy. If they won't give it to you, I guess that's a red flag.
That's right. And don't give in to the hype of the commercials and the free gifts.
Yeah, don't be with advertising. It's not about how well they advertise or how often. It really is about in that moment when you need the best that you can get. Do you have the right coverage?
Right.
Nothing else matters. All the training and information and education is great, but that's not going to help you when you go to trial. You can get good information and good training in lots of places. It doesn't have to be a reason to not use a company, but it shouldn't be your primary reason because there's so many other sources to get that.
That's right.
Because if I get arrested, I damn sure ain't gonna worry about the gift bag and the magazine subscription. They ain't gonna give a damn.
You know,
Mm-mm.
I have an 85-year-old woman that watches my daughter when I'm at work.
Mhm.
But you know what? When I get home after work, I don't ask her to go wrench on my car. Good. You know what I'm saying?
That was worth
Yep,
the mine.
it's time to go. So what I'm gonna do?
Love y'all, man. Be safe, have fun.
Yeah, this is
Good
just
evening.
everybody's tired now. You know how when people start talking, you can just tell they tired, like the way.
I don't know what's
I'm still running that in my head, and I
Yeah,
still
that
can't
was
figure
good.
that
I don't
shit out.
understand none of that. Just listen, man. Thank you, everybody that tuned in.
Because USCCA has good training, does it make it they're going to have a good lawyer team for you? My babysitter's a good
I think real
babysitter.
deal
But
should
you wouldn't
write
make
this
a good
lyric down
mechanic.
before he start rapping. Your freestyle game is terrible. He might say anything.
Delta Defense is USCCA, Super Freak. They're the same. They're one and the same. Delta Defense is USCCA.
That's right.
Yo, thank y'all, man. Thank you, everybody. I hope everybody was able to at least get some information about this. Thank you so much, Siege, because I did call you last second, and I appreciate you.
Hey, big round of applause
Thank
to
you,
see
Siege.
And everybody that hung out with us tonight, man. I hope everybody was able to gather something from it. I'm definitely going to get me some insurance. I got to. It's only right. And I hope you guys do as well.
Meetup, everybody, before the meetup.
Before the meetup, right? Everybody have insurance. Not that we're gonna shoot each other at the meetup, nothing. Just have insurance.
Just in case Skilly shows up.
We're gonna pick somebody tomorrow.
Not good skilling.
We'll pick somebody tomorrow.
Everybody be safe, man. I'll see you all on Friday night.
Deuces.
Peace.
Peace,
Be
y'all.
good, everybody.